Okay, so Billboard just came out with their greatest pop star of the 21st century list.
Uh-huh.
And, well, they named Beyonce as like the queen.
Right.
But it wouldn't be pop culture if it didn't come with a little bit of debate.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. I mean, you've got Taylor Swift out there, like, just breaking records left and right.
Yeah.
So this has fans, like, really buzzing about this.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got, like, a stack of articles and hot takes right here.
Yeah.
Ready to unpack why Billboard, like, made this call.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think it's super interesting, like right off the bat,
Yeah.
Billboard acknowledges how insanely popular Taylor Swift is.
Right.
They even point out that she has more #1 albums and songs than Beyonce, which is like even more impressive when you consider that she like started her career later.
Totally. And that's what makes this whole thing so interesting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's not just like who's selling the most records, like, right this second.
Exactly.
Like, Billboard's looking at something bigger here.
Yeah.
Like the long game.
Yeah, the long game, totally. And I think part of the reason they chose Beyonce is because of her incredible longevity.
Okay.
Like, think about it.
Yeah.
She had a #1 hit back in 2000 with Destiny's Child.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then her first solo #1 was in 2004.
Right.
She's been a powerhouse in the music industry for over 2 decades.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
I mean, you don't stay at the top of, like, any industry,
No.
let alone the music industry,
Especially the music industry.
for that long without having some serious talent
Right.
and, like, ability to, like, evolve.
Totally.
That's got to count for something.
Yeah, definitely. And Billboard argues that she's never really had a period of like low popularity throughout her entire career.
So how do they even, like, define that? Like,
Yeah.
what is low popularity?
Yeah.
Is it about, like, sales figures or chart positions
Yeah.
or, like, critical acclaim?
Yeah.
Or is there, like, some magic formula?
Yeah, is it like a secret sauce?
Because it's pretty subjective.
Right. It's totally subjective. And
Well-
unfortunately, they don't really break down their methodology for measuring that.
Oh, interesting.
So it's kind of like a black box a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it seems like they're taking a pretty holistic view.
Right.
And they're considering a bunch of different elements.
All right, so we've got longevity on the table.
Yes.
What else did Billboard consider when, like, making this pick?
Okay, so aside from like the length of her career, they've highlighted her evolution as an artist.
Okay.
She hasn't been afraid to experiment with different sounds and genres
All right.
throughout her entire career.
Right.
So she's kept her music fresh and she's kind of pushed those boundaries a bit.
I mean, you're so right, because if you think about it, like,
Yeah.
from the early 2000s with that pop R&B sound
Totally.
to, like, the stuff she's doing now,
Yeah.
like, it's way more experimental.
Way more experimental and genre bending.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And Billboard seems to like put a lot of value on that adaptability.
Yeah.
And that willingness to like take those creative risks.
Yeah.
They even mentioned that Taylor Swift, while incredibly successful, has stuck to a pretty defined sound and genre.
Okay, so we're starting to get, like, a clearer picture.
Yeah.
We've got longevity, we've got evolution,
Yes.
and, of course, just undeniable talent.
Totally.
All these things seem to be playing into Billboard's decision.
Right.
But we can't forget about that whole social media, like, snafu
Oh, yeah.
that they had with Taylor Swift.
The whole like social media thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was this whole thing where Billboard posted a video about Taylor Swift.
Uh-huh.
And it included a clip from a Kanye West music video.
Right.
Which, considering their history, was not a great choice.
Not the best look.
Not a great look.
It makes you wonder how much that impacted things,
Right.
even if unintentionally.
Right. Even if it was like an accident.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, like, how much should we really care about these types of rankings?
Right. Are they just, like, for fun?
Are they just like clickbait?
Or are they actually telling us something about an artist's impact?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, that's the real question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like these rankings,
Yeah.
they get people talking, for sure.
They get the debate going.
Yeah, they spark debate, but like at the end of the day, it's all subjective.
Right.
It really comes down to like, what are they even judging this on?
Right.
And it's super interesting because Billboard even admitted, like straight up, if they were going just by the numbers, like pure sales, chart performance, like that kind of stuff,
Okay.
Taylor Swift would win.
Wow.
Hands down.
That's huge.
Yeah. They basically admitted that.
Yeah, it's almost like they're trying to redefine greatness.
Yeah.
When we're talking about, like, pop stars.
Totally.
Like, moving beyond just those raw numbers.
Yeah.
And, like, really looking at, like, the artist's impact, their influence, how they've changed like the whole music scene.
Exactly. And I think that's why people are freaking out about this so much.
Right.
Like, it's making us think about, like, how do we even judge artists? Like, what are the metrics here?
Yeah, are we talking like cultural influence?
Right.
Like, can they connect with fans from like different generations?
Yeah, are they like changing music?
Yeah.
Are they just good at selling albums?
Right.
Yeah.
Or are they actually like making a difference?
Exactly.
It's like comparing apples and oranges almost.
It really is.
Like Beyonce and Taylor Swift are both super successful.
Huge.
But they've gotten there in different ways.
Totally different ways.
They appeal to different people.
Different audiences. Yeah.
And they've like changed and grown over time.
For sure.
But like in totally different ways.
And I think that's what makes Billboard's choice like actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because it makes you think.
It makes you think.
Yeah.
It's not just about like who's the most popular right now.
Exactly. It's about like who's going to be remembered.
Yeah.
Who made a difference.
Yeah. And if Billboard's like looking past just the numbers, then like what are some of those like less obvious things that might have like tipped the scales for Beyonce?
Well, I think one thing that really stands out in their little write-up is how much they talk about Beyonce's impact.
Yeah.
Outside of just music.
Right.
They talk about fashion. Her activism.
Okay.
You know, her being this cultural icon.
Right.
That goes way beyond just singing.
Yeah. She's not just a singer anymore.
No.
Like she's a businesswoman.
She's a mogul.
She's a fashion icon.
Yeah.
Like she's a voice for like social change. Like she's built a whole empire.
Right.
That goes way beyond just performing on stage.
And that's what they're looking at.
Okay.
They're looking at the big picture.
Yeah.
Not just the music.
So does that mean like in order to be like a truly great artist,
right,
do you have to be like political?
Yeah.
Do you have to be like socially active?
Right. Do you have to use your platform?
Yeah. Can you just like make awesome music?
Right. Or is there like an expectation now?
Is that part of the job description now?
That you got to like use your platform for like a bigger cause?
Man, that is a tough question.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's like a right answer.
Right.
It depends on the artist.
Right.
Like what are their priorities?
Yeah.
Some people feel like they have to speak out. Some people just want to let their music do the talking.
Right. And I guess like both of those are totally valid.
Totally.
But it does seem like, at least for Billboard,
yeah,
Beyonce being willing to like engage with the world outside of music, like that added something.
It added to her legacy.
Okay, so we've talked about longevity, artistic evolution, cultural impact, all these things that like went into Billboard's decision.
Right.
But like when it comes down to it, what does this tell us about like how we define greatness?
Yeah, like what does it even mean
in music
to be great?
Is there like one definition?
Or is it way more complicated than that?
Is it like a moving target?
I feel like what they're trying to say is like there's no one way to be great.
Yeah.
It's not just like one thing.
Right.
It's like a bunch of things all together.
Yeah, like a whole mix of things.
Yeah, like talent, longevity, impact, evolution, and maybe even like that, like, you know, that special something.
It factor.
Yeah, that some artists just have.
That you can't really like put your finger on.
Right, it's not like a checklist.
No.
You're like, yep.
You got all the boxes checked.
And then you're great.
Yeah, like you graduated greatness.
Yeah.
It's more like, you said, like a symphony.
Yeah.
Of all these different elements.
Like how do you make people feel?
Yeah, do you like connect with people?
Yeah.
Do you stick around?
Do you leave a mark?
Yeah.
And that's what makes these conversations so interesting, right?
Totally.
It's not just about like who sold the most or who had the most #1 hits.
Right.
It's about like really getting into it.
Yeah. It's about the nuance.
Yeah, and like what their whole career has been like.
Yeah, their whole...
And like what they've given to music.
And like what they brought to the table that was like totally new.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And it makes you think about like, what do we even care about in music?
Yeah.
Like, what's good music?
That's actually good.
Yeah. Because it's easy to just get like swept up
Yeah.
in like whatever's popular right now.
Oh, yeah.
But like real staying power,
Yeah.
that takes time.
That takes time.
You got to wait for...
Like Beyonce and Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
They're both like such different examples of what it means to be like a pop star like right now.
Right now in the 21st century.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Taylor Swift is like...
She's the queen of connecting with her fans.
Yeah.
Like through her songwriting.
Yeah.
Her storytelling.
Yeah.
And Beyonce is like...
She's like...
She's almost like royalty.
Yeah, she's iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a good point.
They're like different sides of the same coin. Totally. But they're both killing it.
Yeah.
They're both like incredibly successful.
Yeah.
Which I think shows you that music is so diverse.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to connect with people and be successful.
And this whole debate that Billboard started, like, it reminds us that there can be more than one great.
Totally.
Like, you don't have to pick just one.
No, it's not like a competition where there can only be one winner.
It's not like Highlander.
There can be more than one.
Yeah, there can be.
Yeah, we can appreciate them all.
Yeah.
For their different things.
And, like, not have to rank them.
Yeah, who cares who's number one?
Yeah.
Just enjoy the music.
Exactly. So, as we're wrapping up our deep dive into, like, this whole Billboard thing.
Yeah.
What's, like, the big takeaway?
Like, what do we want people to remember?
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is, like, greatness.
Yeah.
It's subjective.
Yeah.
And it's complicated.
Not just about numbers. It's about, like, impact and influence and evolution.
Yeah, and how you connect with people, like, over time.
Across, like, different generations.
Yeah, across cultures.
Like, how much you change things.
Yeah.
It's a great way to put it.
Thanks.
And, like, maybe that's, like, the ultimate challenge for any artist.
Totally.
To make something that lasts.
To make something that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, who knows what's going to happen with pop music in the future?
Yeah.
But it's going to be so fun to see, like, who those next greats are.
I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this conversation has given everyone, like, a better way to think about, like, what it means to be successful as a musician.
So, like, the next time you see one of those, like, best of lists.
Yeah.
Or, like, artist rankings.
Don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, just remember. It's just one person's opinion.
Just one way of looking at it.
Yeah.
You do
your own deep dive.
Yeah.
Come to your own conclusions.
That's what makes music fun.
Exactly.